Greetings. In this part of our discussion, we reached to the promise of the Lord to the Israeli Jews before entering the Holy Land of Palestine. And we said that this promise has two parts. A good part full with blessings in 15 verses in Deuteronomy 28, from 1 to 15. And we continued the second part of the promise from verse 16, and we finished till verse 45, 30 verses. And those 30 verses, we have seen how much the Israelis will be cursed if they do not obey the Lord carefully and follow His commands. Curses on top of curses, piles and piles of curses. And we said many times that the first 15 verses about the blessings never happened. What happened is the second part. And this is the important issue that we are discussing today. What really happened? It was the second part, the threats, the curses. The Lord promised to curse the sons of Israel, the children of Israel, the Israeli Jews, if they do not obey. And they did not. They offended Him all through their miserable existence. Let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 28 again, but this time verse 49. It reads, "The Lord will bring a nation against you from far away, from the ends of the earth, like an eagle swooping down, a nation whose language you will not understand." So not only curses, now the threat, took a spin, 180 degrees spin, a huge spin over here. That, if you offend me and you continue to offend me, the Lord will bring a nation against you from far away, from a distant land. And He did. We are talking about Babylon. The Assyrians first, the northern kingdom of Iraq, today's Iraq, old days Assyria first, and then, Babylon, the southern kingdom of today's Iraq. Back then it was Babylon. He did. He placed a threat, and He fulfilled what He promised. He told them, you don't want to obey, you disobey, then this is what's going to happen. I will bring a nation from a distant land, from far away, that you do not even understand their language. They speak Babylonian or Assyrian. So almost close, cousin languages, very close to the Arabic and the Hebrew. All right, very well. That you will not understand. Now, verse 50 says, Deuteronomy 28 still, a fierce-looking nation, very tough, extremely tough. The Babylonians were one of the most tough nations in the history of mankind, the toughest, for a long time. Okay. A fierce-looking nation without respect for the old or pity for the young. So the Lord is trying to explain to us, those Assyrians and Babylonians, they have no pity whatsoever in their hearts. Not for the old or the young. Which means that when we go to war, or we are supposed to, when we go to war with anybody, we are supposed to have some pity for the old. What they can do. What in hell they can do to harm us? They are too old. They can barely walk on the ground. Full with sickness, problems, endless, suffering from all kinds of diseases. You name it, they have it. They are trying to survive for whatever short time left. But those that do not have pity over such old people or little children. I know, they may grow up, they may form a threat of some kind, turn into your enemies, but it's too early. You never know what will happen tomorrow. Maybe they will turn to be friends. So the Lord is saying that this nation that the Lord is going to bring is miserable, horrible, horrific. And guess what? This is exactly the description of the rotten Israeli Jews back then, 3,000 years back, and today, for the last 70 years, against the Palestinians. This is the exact description of those rotten Israeli Jews terrorists who invaded Palestine using non-biblical lies. They and the rotten Zionists who support this. They use non-biblical lies. They use, promises about bringing them from Egypt and the land of the north and apply it to bringing them from all over the world, from one corner to the other corner. That's the worst, miserable, stupid lie the Zionists play. But this is exactly the description of those rotten Israeli Jews for the last 70 years against the Palestinians today. As the Lord is describing this nation that doesn't have pity for the old, doesn't have any sympathy for the children. They care less. We're going to come to the book of Joshua. They will kill everybody with the edge of the sword, old or young, male or female, with the edge of the sword, leaving no soul alive. That's what it says. None alive. Complete annihilation, extermination. This is the exact stupidity how the Israeli Jews were, are, will continue to be. And they still have a chance to continue this rotten state for about 6 more years. Well, actually less. Anyway. Very well. So we go to verse 50, Deuteronomy 28, verse 50. It says, they will devour the young of your livestock and the crops of your your land until you are destroyed. And they did. This is exactly what happened in history. This is true history. So much history found in the Old Testament and New Testament is filthy lie, miserable stupidity. And the Zionists, they are so proud, their book has true history. No, it is not. And it does not. Not in a million years or a billion. It's the worst history you can ever find. However, for a small part, 2%, maybe. And there is an exaggeration there. So say 2% history is right. The rest is garbage, miserable garbage. And they call this garbage the Word of God. Very well. So what will happen when this nation, this horrific nation, will come against the Israelis who offend the Lord and do not obey? And He is promising to destroy them. Every time He said He will destroy them. I will destroy you. I will destroy you. And then He backs out from this threat. And finally He did. He went through with it. By the Lord He did. He gave him to the hands of the Babylonians. So verse 51 says, they will devour the young of your livestock and the crops of your land until you are destroyed. This time they will be destroyed. This time He is telling the truth as it is and as it happened way back 700 years before Jesus Christ. This is what happened. Exactly. Meaning that they offended the Lord, disobeyed, carefully did not follow the commands. Not carefully follow the command. No, for carefully did not follow the commands of the Lord. So he destroyed them. They will leave you no grain, new wine, or olive oil. So it looks like those were back then, 3,000 years back, those were very, very precious, valuable commodities for those cultures 3,000 years back. Very valuable commodities. Of course, today we had, a switch in what we value today. Completely different approach. We value a lot, a lot today, but not the olive oil or the new wine. We don't value them. They are available. We take them for granted. Back then, they did not. Those were very valuable commodities. So when the Lord say, they will leave you no grain, how are they going to make the pies and the bread and so on? A very important commodity back then in those cultures. Today we have substitutes. We have all kinds of substitutes for the grain or the wine. Anyway, new wine or olive oil. Very well. Nor any calves of your herds or lambs of your flocks until you are ruined. They will leave none of that. They will take all of it. And something very funny here. The Jews are known through history how stingy and rotten they are. Very stingy and very rotten. They are willing to take from you, grab everything they can, take. Remember, they started out of Egypt. They plundered the Egyptians. They stole everything they borrowed from the Egyptians with the lies that they want to celebrate, and they will bring it back. They took off. This is how the Israelis are. They are willing to grab everything, plunder you, rob you of everything that you have. But if you take anything from them, it's better to kill them than take from them, rob them, or take away, or deprave them from what they have. It's the worst thing you can do to a Jew. The worst thing, take something from his hands. They are so rotten stingy all their miserable life. Very well. So imagine they will take nor any calves of your herds or lambs of your flocks until you are ruined. You will be broke. You will be broke. You don't have anything. Those were the possessions of value those days back then. Like having an airplane today, private jet, or a castle somewhere, on an island, for example. Very well, so it seems that, those who will come, the Babylonians and the Assyrians, will leave nothing in their hands. So the Israeli Jews, will have nothing else to regret or cry for. They will lose 50% of the souls from the Israeli Jewish nation. 50% will die at the hands of those new invaders. And this is exactly what the Israelis are doing today at Palestine. They are repeating what happened to them 3,000 years back. And they say a lie about what Hitler did to them, Nazi Germany in World War II. And they are trying to do that, the lie that they lie. They are trying to apply that lie against the Palestinians today. And for the last 70 years, that's all they are doing, trying to kill from the Palestinians every way they can. In hope, maybe one day they will wake up and no Palestinians will be left in the land. And that's the dream of Satan and the wishes of the devil. And the Lord will never let it pass. We'll continue next time. Take care.